Hello everyone, welcome back to me reading these games, and this is going to be really interesting because I've never played any of these four games in my life. So we're going to start by reading Quakes, or how you pronounce it, I don't even fucking know. It's an arcade game, so I've never played. Well, they're all arcades except for Adventure. That's on a different, it's on various platforms apparently. But the other three games are arcade games, so let's read about Quick, I think it's called. Never played it. It was released in 1981. It was an arcade game, so that's interesting. It makes sense that the writers of Futurama kept a cabinet. Really? So the people who made Futurama made this game? That is that is kind of like what the fuck? Apparently, I'm learning something new. I've never known that before. I didn't know the developers of Futurama made a fucking arcade cabinet. God damn, man. Tito's Arcade Puzzler. Oh, it's a puzzler. Okay. Well, it says action, so. Puzzler is mathematically minded. The kind of game that is robot, although although one more sober than Futurama's cigar smoking bender. I'm shocked that the people who made Futurama made a fucking game in 1981. Because Futurama, I think, originally came out in '99, I believe, or somewhere in the early 2000s. I think the series is still going on, to be honest with you. Although it's not like The Simpsons or like King of the Hill or any of those shows, because Futurama is always like on and off. Might cook up. Players race to divide space, drawing lines and capturing territories by moving a diamond-shaped marker horizon and vertically through an empty plane. Oh wait, you know what? I should make sure I playing field. Levels are cleared when a predetermined percentage of territory has been claimed. That's an interesting concept, and there's a risk versus reward factor. Slowly drawn lines are both worth more points. Well, it's an arcade machine, so I kind of guess it was made by points. But getting caught halfway through sketching a division, it's Doom. Oh, we're Doom. I'll tell you this much: we will be covering Doom at some point, because I guarantee you that is on this in this book. I guarantee you that the game's taught to enemy wreaks havoc, wreaks havoc with all sense of order. It is a wavy, meticular force that swoops and swoops. All right, hold on. Swoops. Okay, good. I'm making sure that my recording is still. I do not want to go back. Hold on. Oops, sorry. Swoops. Where are we? With all its order, meticular force that swoops and undulates like something orgasmic. Okay, why are you talking about sex in my fucking book, man? Come on. Like an electronic specter. The Quakes hunts the playing field, uncertain with the player's movement. It's this force of nature that makes Quakes interesting. Transforming it, so it's pretty much a bunch of fucking lines. That's fucking boring. It from a contest between number crunches into a struggle between the orderly and logic and the utter unpredictable. So it's just a bunch of lines. Is that what it is? Sure damn seems like it. It just looks like a bunch of lines and a bunch of mathematical questions. That's fucking stupid. Alright, Scramble. Alright, I've had play. I don't know if this is this game called Scramble. I've had Scramble before. I've played the board game Scramble before. I don't know if this is the same thing. Released in 1981, it's another arcade game. Shockingly, it's made by Konami. If you must know, Konami's the one who made Street Fighter, I believe. Konami's the one who made Street Fighter. They made a bunch of good games. Mirror's Edge is one of them. Although I know that Mirror's Edge 2 kind of sucks, so. Often placed alongside with its early shooters. This is a shooter? Really? What is this, fucking Call of Duty? Scramble isn't about shooting so much as ducking and waving. Okay, I've never heard of this game before. The mission is to fly through hostile territory to bombs an enemy base. Five stages lie in your way with surface to air rockets, zippy UFOs, and even a comet storm waiting to stop you. So I have to blow up a fucking comet that's ready to fucking blow me up to smithereens? Really? I get the UFOs, but why the fuck a comet? What do you want me to do? Get killed? If you must know why I'm not putting more emphasis on my voice, it's because it's late at night. 'Cause I'm recording this. I'm recording this at 12:22 a.m. So I'm kind of wiped out. But yeah, I took a 3-hour nap. Tall mountains and skyscrapers impeded. Trying to stop you. Tall mountains and skyscrapers impeded grass as the course grows trickyly and narrowly until you're threading through tunnels on the way to your goal. Your jet is armed. Oh, aimed, not armed. It's armed with two weapons: a front fire gun and a vertical bomb. Okay, that lobs forward in the arc. So it's like a lob shot from basketball, if that was make any sense. The bomb is difficult to control, so it's a really bad fucking lob shot. Got ya. So it's gonna hit the rim, hit the freaking backboard, and miss on uncontrollably because you don't know that your shot is 33 fucking percent apparently. And even experienced players find themselves missing narrow targets on the ground while struggling to dodge comets. Okay. And on top of all this, you also have to contend jet limited fuel supplies. Oh, that's fucking fantastic. I hate old school games that do that. Like, you have to watch out your fucking fuel meter because if it runs out, you're pretty much done and you have to start from the very fucking beginning. It fucking sucks, to be honest with you. I've had that in multiple games. Okay, so while slowly and more convoluted than some of its peers, the vain courses of challenge made Scramble an enduring hit of on home systems has struck around with to the latest generation. Well, not technically, it's like a virtual re-image version on the Xbox 360. Really, I didn't know the Xbox 360 had a version of this game. I missed it. Well, you can't purchase it anymore because the Xbox Live Arcade is pretty much done on the Xbox 360. That's kind of sad. I wish I could have played it. I wish I knew it was a game on the Xbox 360. I would have at least tried it at least. Okay, so Stargate. Stargate is a video kid, a shoot 'em up. Of course, it's got to be a shoot 'em up because it's a space game. Because it has Star in the freaking thing. It's a arcade. It was filmed by Vitz Kids in 1981. We're still in the 81 thing. Stargate was designed by Eugene Jarvis and Larry DeMarc as a sequel to the highly popular Defender. Really? I didn't know that. So this is technically Defender 2.0. Got ya. So I will never like this game to begin with. Because I remember when we talked about Defender, I did not like it whatsoever. I had bad memories of playing Defender because all we did was play Defender with my dad because he's a dipshit and all he cared about was playing Defender and it pissed me off. Which within 6 months of its launch, was one of the biggest coin-op earners in the arcade history. So apparently the sequel is better than the fucking first Defender. That's interesting. But the comical requirements for a sequel posed a question where the customer was already ready to defect to the latest novel craze? Did you follow a game that players still found so challenging? You know what the weirdest thing is? Um, about this, what I'm reading right now. Like, there are some compilations games on the PlayStation 2 and probably in modern games where you can play Defender all the time, but they never have a the game Stargate on any of those what are those things called, like compilations on PlayStation 2 systems, like the original Xbox of Stargate, and that's kind of interesting, especially when it's a good game apparently. But they never ported it to homemade consoles, and that's kind of interesting because they do have because I know that the PlayStation 2 has has what's it called? It has a version of Defender on it, but not Stargate. But apparently Stargate has more biggest coin op or earnings in arcade history. So shouldn't it be in the inclusion of these compilation arcade machines, arcade games? But apparently, unless I'm missing something or I don't know, it's kind of interesting. The answer was to make it even tougher. Although working with the Defender format, Stargate introduced 15 different types of aliens. Oh, so there's multiple aliens in this arcade game. Okay. Some cruelly designed so to unbalanced techniques learned links to master the original game. Also, the when it comes to a sequel, if a sequel's that good and then there's no more games, that means that you know that the sequel was its peak. And if they make a third game, it kind of fucking sucks. So yeah. Also new the central features of the game field was a Stargate itself, which enabled the ship to wrap from one side of a planet to the other, but differently depending on the state of play. Oh, okay. Was featured in an episode of the U.S. sitcom Radio, during which studio manager revealed that he failed score stat exam due to his addiction to playing to the game playing game for the first or the 100th time stand his plate. So pretty much the sitcom says that he it was addicted to Stargate. Like I can understand that, but there's so much thing you can do to play a fucking arcade game that kind of gets boring actually. Like if you're doing the same shit over and over again, I can understand that. Like it's like me putting up 500 hours into fucking Doom or 500 hours into Tales of Vesperia. You see my point? Hopefully, Tales of Vesperia is on this in this book. I've only read up to the 90s, I believe, because then I stopped. So yeah, I know some of the books. I haven't read this book since my book got destroyed. That's why I'm doing this online so you guys can see what I'm reading. Hopefully. So yeah. Cool graph. So the last game on this video will be Venture. I'm explaining a lot of stuff because I've never played any of these four games, and that's really hard for me to do that. So I'm trying to get a virtual experience of what these games are like. So you got lines, you got shooting UFOs and comets, you got a sequel to Defender, and then you got Virtual, which is a various platforms. Crew graphics were a fact of life in the earliest video games. Yes, it was, because all it was space, apparently. Take a look at Scramble, even though it's a space game, is made by Konami. It's even Quakes, whatever the hell it's called. But few games looked as primitive as Venture, which tried to conjure up a fantasy world with geometric visuals. I have no idea how in the fuck I know that word. I do apologize, but it's kind of interesting on how some words that seem difficult for me, I can pronounce them really easily, and that's really something. Like I'm like all over the place. There's some words I don't even know. Your dungeon is retangled and it's filled with another boxy rooms where treasure of and monsters lie. The hero wiki, the wiki, what the hell is this? Okay. In circle with a bow and arrow, races between rooms, grabs and goods, and dodges a series of architectic foes. Okay. From skeletons to snakes to two-headed. These was this fucking Smash TV? Well, then again, Smash TV doesn't have skeletons, so I understand that. All of them rendered as a stick figures. By the way, when we get to the original Nintendo games, because we'll get to them at some point, I will be playing music in the background, so it's gonna be a lot more not just me talking. It's just that I there's a lot of video games in the arcades that doesn't have any music. So that's the main reason why I'm not playing any music. Like the first video, I did put music of the Oregon Trail, but some of these arcade games are like, ugh. The game looks so primitive that it lost almost nothing in the move from the arcades to home consoles. For its limited technology, the game shows imagination. They've been making that word pop up like a lot during these early pages. Each monster has a different gate, offers a new challenge, and in a unique twist, the corpses themselves are toxic, spelling instant death you if you bump into them. So it's a dungeon crawler. So if it's a dungeon crawler, that means that it is has some RPG elements to it, like toxic. Like I understand that dungeon. So it's like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Is that what it is? Because Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series is a dungeon crawler, pretty much. The constant peril and fast paced conveys a thrill beyond the graphics. Wiki, always on the move, linger in the boss monsters. Him for sure. And while Wiki never into the video game hero canon, there's a charm and embarrassment about venture venture that is timeless. I have no idea what the hell this game is. In fact, I don't even know any of these four games. I've never played any of them. I think this is the first time we've had a page where I've never played any of the games. Well, case in point, three of them are in arcade games, so yeah. And if I've been to an arcade before, but there's something. So what's the next video games? So we go from four video games I've never played before to two games that I actually fucking love. But we'll read about Frogger and Miss Pac-Man. I knew Miss Pac-Man was on there because Pac-Man's on there. It's pretty much the same thing, but I hope you guys have a nice positive day. Take care. And I hope that makes you wonder why I'm doing these videos in the first place. Because I want you guys to learn how good video games are. Like, that's the main reason why. And how my video games. I will be making a story that I had back when I had these games. When we get to it. Because we're still in the 1980s. And this book goes up to 2010s. Like the newer games, like it doesn't have Elden Ring because this book came out before Elden Ring. This book was made in 2011 to 2010, so it's not gonna have like a bunch of newer games. Like it will have 90 games, 2000 games, and that's it. It might throw in a little 2010 games, but yeah. But we're gonna do Miss Pac-Man and Frogger next. So I hope you guys have a nice positive day and take care.